Hey, sup, Drago again, and welcome back to the Next.js 14 series. In the previous video, we set up authentication using Superbase, allowing users to sign up via email. Now that we have our authentication system in place, it's time to take the next step and start working with DB tables. So let's get started. Going into our existing project, first of all, we're gonna create our posts table. So we're gonna go to lib, drizzle, and then schema.ts. Inside it, we're going to write export constant posts. We're going to call the function pgtable and we're going to name our table as next14 series posts. Our first column will be id, which is going to be a text, primary key, not null, and default fn as generate id. Next up, we have the author id. It's going to be a text column with not null, and here we're going to reference it to users.id. Next up, content as text and not null. Lastly, we'll be having the created ad with timestamp, not null, and default as now. Now that we have made a reference, or you could say it like a foreign key, that connects the user ID with the author ID of the post, we can declare a relation. So first of all, we're going to declare the user to post relation. So we're going to write export constant user relations equals to relations. Now as this is going to be a user to post relation, we're going to call the users table first. After that, we're going to fire a callback. Inside it, we're going to destructure a function many. Inside this callback, we're going to write posts with many of posts. So one user can have multiple posts. Now we declare the post to user or author relation. So export constant post relations equals to relations. Inside it, we're going to call the posts table, and inside the callback, we're going to instruction one, because every post will have only one author. So now we can write author as one of users. Now we got to declare the fields and references. So for the first one, we have the fields as posts.authorid and have the references as user.id. Now that we're done here, we can create the validation schema for posts. So we're going to create a new file, post.ts, inside the validations folder, and inside it, first of all, we're going to import z from Zod. Now I can write export constant post schema equals to z.object. First of all, we're going to have the id field with string and minimum of 1. Next up, the author id with string and again minimum of 1. Next up, the content. Last up, we're going to have the created ad. We're also going to have a create post schema with post schema.pick content of true. Last up, we're just going to declare the types and export them for post data and create post data. Before making the UI, let's actually create the API routes. So we're going to create a /API/posts route, and inside it, first of all, we're going to make a handler for creating posts. As we'll be inserting values inside the DB, so we're going to define the function as post with export async function post. Inside it, we're going to have the rec as next request imported from next/server. Now inside it, we're going to have a try catch, and inside the catch, we'll be having return handle error of error. Now inside the try block, we're going to convert the body to JSON. Next up, we're going to parse it using the create post schema imported from the validations. Next up, we're going to get the cookies. We're going to create our Superbase client, and we're going to get the logged in user. We're going to write constant post equals to await db.insert of posts. So the main table, inside it, we're going to insert the values of content and author ID as existing user.id. Next up, we can have the dot returning to get the values. We can just write dot then res and then res of 0. Lastly, we're just going to return a response. Now I'll make another handler to retrieve all the posts in the DB. So export async function get with try catch. Next up, we're going to find all the posts from the DB, and we're just going to return it. So we're going to write user posts equals to await db.query.posts.find many. So inside the find many, we can actually create an object, and inside it, we'll be having an option of width. So we're going to write author of true. This will automatically join the filtered users table of the same author. Now we can write return C response with message OK and data as user posts. And that's it for the backend. Let's jump into the UI part now. So I made a new folder to route it as /posts and /post/create. Let's jump into the create page first. Similar to the previous pages, we're gonna get the cookies, we're gonna create our service client, we're gonna get the logged in user, and if there is no user, we're gonna redirect to /auth/signin. We're returning a component post create page. So let's actually visit the component. Now this component is actually being rendered as client component because we'll be having a form. So inside the use mutation, we have the onMuted to send a loading toast, and inside the mutation function are the values, and inside it we're using cfetch to send the data to /API/posts endpoint. Now the method is going to be post, and the body is going to be JSON.stringify of values. If the return data has success as false, we're going to throw a new error with data.long message. Now on the on success, we're just going to show a success toast, and we're going to redirect to /posts. And for the on error, we're just going to handle the error with the toast. Now let's retrieve all the posts and visualize it. So inside the /posts page, and unlike the post create page, we won't be rendering anything on the client. Now here comes the fun part. I believe you remember what we had in the route.ts for the get function, right? So it is the same. Constant user posts equals to with db.query the posts.find many with author of true. So this will return us ID, content, author ID, author, and created at. Now that we have access to all the data, we can just map it inside a card with the card title as post.author.username. Inside the card description, we're going to have the content, and for the footer, we're just going to format the created at as td, mm, and yy. So let's actually test it out. We have the button create post. Now clicking on this button will redirect me to /post/create page. Here I can fill out the content with anything I want, and if I hit create, it gives me a toast. Okay, now that it's done, look, we are now redirected to /posts, and we have listed our first post. Let's try creating another one, and let me just hit create, and look, it's over here too. And that's it for today's video. We have successfully set up our posts table, handled CRUD operations, and even worked with relationships in Supabase using Drizzle. In the next video, we'll dive into something that's going to make your app feel even snappier: suspense and streaming. So make sure you stay tuned for that. And always don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you're enjoying this series. But before I finish up, I want to let you in on something exciting. If you're enjoying the content and want to support me, you can join my Patreon at patreon.com/itsdrvgo. As a subscriber, you'll get early access to all my videos a day or two before they go public on YouTube. Plus, you'll be able to see exclusive behind the scenes, get sneak peeks of upcoming projects, and much more. It's a great way to stay ahead of the curve and get involved in shaping future content. Also, if you have any questions or need help with anything we covered, don't hesitate to join our Discord server. I'm active there, and it's the best place to connect with me and the community. You'll find the link in the description below. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.